Tell your grandma to say hello. It's the Kenny and Cairo Variety Show.
And welcome back to the show. You may be thinking, looking around, where's Cairo? Cairo is a quintessential 50% of this show. Where is he? I don't want to look at this guy. Don't worry, Cairo's here. Kind of. Sort of. Cairo is in Berlin, which is in Germany, attending the Ribbit. What Cairo did for us was he made some recordings in Germany that we're going to be able to see together in this video. So you're still going to get plenty of Cairo. Before we move into that, let's give you a quick bit of news. Just talking about Ribbit Berlin. I literally grabbed this screenshot right from Keegan's video, the person who runs Ribbit. Shout out to Keegan. Shout out to the winner. This is the winning deck list. This Ribbit Berlin first place, Nicholas. I believe it's Nicholas 97. Looks like he played Blackwing. I'm not going to sit here and dive into that. If you want to know more about the list, you can, check it out in various places. For example, like the video I have screenshotted here. Once again, shout out to Keegan, shout out to Ribbit. Edison format is beautiful.
So guys, now we're here with story time. And me and my special guest,
Roghnach.
We're actually going to talk about our experience at the most recent RBT Berlin. So, do you want to go first and tell how things were for you?
Well, I'd like to say that at the start, things were going pretty similar for us. And actually, I think it was an event that we felt quite similarly about by the end of it in terms of our personal experiences. But I haven't heard a lot of the stories yet. We just got into this restaurant and we're chilling here.
Yeah.
But
so pretty much, we both started off really strong, 3 or 4-0. And actually, you won a pre-RBT tournament. So
that's right.
It was looking like your tournament.
Yeah.
And every time I'd come up to him like, hey, how you doing? And he's like, oh, I won.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we lost, right? But not only did we lose, we lost to ourselves. Because usually when I walk away from like a tournament, I feel as though like I got sacked or something like this. But this tournament, like legitimately, I lost to myself. It is very, very rare that happens. And I just feel awful. And to give like a kind of example, right? I was up against Nicholas, and he was actually the winner of the event, so congratulations on winning the entire event. He had 3 back rows, and he's playing Blackwings. I have a set Raikou. I go flip Raikou, target one of the 3 back rows, hit Bobulus. Sack the Raikou for Caius, target the other back row, he changed Yada. And now I attack the Raikou with Caius, chain MST, drop Goris. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to read a Goris through 3 back rows? But if you know Bayou Turbo, it has a terrible matchup into Goris. Like, when you drop a Goris, a well-timed Goris against Bayou Turbo, like, it's over, so.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, for me, it was kind of similar. Like, I was feeling good, and I do have this habit of, like, kind of taking my foot off the pedal when I'm feeling comfortable. And I think that definitely happened. And you can find in these events that, like, especially, you've never been to a European event before, right?
Right.
Yeah, like, you don't know a lot of these players, you don't know what they're like, what their play styles are. And I guess I just felt like, I don't have to take it like super intense at this point. And I definitely lost my focus and made some questionable plays. And that derailed a lot of my games by the end of it after that, initial 3-0. And I was riding off the high of being on stream and like winning on stream. And I was like, yeah. And everyone's coming up to me like, oh, great. I hope you win this. Like, and I was saying for Cairo, we were saying like, what if we see each other in the finals? That'd be awesome.
We were so hot in the beginning, but then we suddenly went cold. Because I underestimated one of my opponents too, and it's like, it's so basic, but you should never, ever underestimate your opponent. Now, something I want to talk about is actually things that need to be said. The venue itself. So, first of all, let me actually say the good, right? Shout out to Keegan, shout out to Darius. Thank you guys so much for putting on the largest European event to date, Edison format, retro tournament. It was awesome. Like, seeing the community there, it was actually my first time experiencing RBT, and the community was wonderful, like even better than I expected. I took a lot of pictures, signed a lot of cards, and just everybody was so friendly and welcoming. So
because it was your first non-tournament, right?
That's exactly right, because previously I've attended all like YCSs as my major tournament. So I definitely want to say thank you to all the hard work, even from the staff, like from Yajusville. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yajusville.
Sorry, right? Everyone, you guys worked hard, so thank you so much for that. But now, we gotta talk about the bad and the ugly, right? We already talked about the bad, our tournament experience, so like the ugly is what's left.
And by the way, I like the venue, by the way. I know it's not just the aesthetics or anything. I actually think like it was a really cool place to be. It's just that, there were some adjustments to make. Let's just say that.
And he just nailed one of them. It was a really cool place to be.
Yeah.
That venue was freezing. Like literally, if you watch the stream, everybody had their jacket on. Everyone had their jackets or hoodie on because it was freezing. It was like ice cold. And not only was it like cold, but the tables were very, very, very small. It was uncomfortable. We didn't have back support. After round 4, like personally, my back was hurting. Like it just was a very uncomfortable experience.
Only half of your mat would fit on the table.
Yeah.
And it'd like constantly be like, oh, I got an ache in my shoulder.
That's exactly right. And then for a lot of people, this was their first time coming to Germany, experience a German tournament, and like it doesn't set a good precedent for future German tournaments. Now, of course, once again, I'm not blaming a particular person, right? And I think like I read a comment that said like I can't control the weather, which is hilarious because that's a famous comment from like That 70s Show. Damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather. And whereas that's true, it's just like, well, what are the things we can control? We can control heating. And I understand like that comes at a financial cost, but also it was a very expensive venue fee, right? So, I mean, a lot of things could go to improve it, and I'm not pointing fingers, so I hope no one gets offended at this, like, you know, particular comment, but we do...
constructive criticism.
Right, constructive criticism. And as RBTs, because, like, the community is in our hands. Konami has abandoned us, at least in the US. In Europe, you guys are still receiving support, but I heard through the grapevine that they're actually trying to end it in Europe as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's not true. But the point is, the community is in our hands, so we have to actively make sure that
it succeeds, you know,
Yes.
that it reaches its full potential.
exactly right. So I mean,
Which
other
has
than that,
a lot of potential.
a lot of potential because actually the player base of Edison, they're getting better and better and better. And I love competition. I love competition. You know, even though I didn't do the best at this event, still, like I said, it was a wonderful event. And I'm looking forward to more RBTs and more tournaments in Europe. And that's pretty much all I got to say. You want to wrap up with anything?
Well, I really did enjoy it, and I played a lot of side events. I played locals in Berlin. Went to Mana Games. Big shout out to people there. I traded a lot with the owner. His name's IMNerd. Just definitely stop by there. I didn't get to see Heaven's Door, but maybe next time I'm here, I'd like to go there. Everyone that I talked to about Heaven's Door and the shop there, they said they really enjoyed that and the displays that they had, and you know, just the ambience and all that kind of stuff of the venue. And I enjoyed being there. I would definitely go to another event in Germany. I'm planning to in February. There's the YCS Dortmund. And like we're saying, we don't know what's going to happen with UTW events going forward in Europe. They're hanging on more than they are in America. I think there's a lot of backstory to that, specific things I shouldn't get into that I don't even know so much about anyway, so don't even ask me. But, you know, I hear things talking to people, and I try not to delve too deep into any details. But anyway, yeah, so I think it was just a great event. I really enjoyed it. And especially also shout out to our cameraman here.
Yes.
Our wonderful host,
Ozzy.
the one and only Ozzy.
That's right. That's right.
You might know on Discord as...
X-Jolin.
That's right, yeah. And he has like a mischievous profile picture. And so yeah, definitely if you're in Berlin, stop by with this guy, and he's absolutely fantastic to hang around with. He showed us all the coolest things, his whole neighborhood, and here we are in this local area, and we're just chilling. It's great.
That's right. You're going to feel like family if you come to Berlin.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys. That's going to wrap up story time for today. So until next time, a true hero and
Roghnach.
peace.
Okay, for today's duel puzzle, you might be thinking, this is a bit of a rant. What am I looking at? This is an Edison format, but that's fine. What we have here today, we don't have Cairo, as you know. He recorded some beautiful videos for us from afar. I decided it'd be kind of cool to get some duel puzzles every now and then from the video games or from the anime, or maybe people can send duel puzzles in and we can feature them on the show. I think it's episode 80 of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I thought it'd be kind of funny and fun to put this up here. So I'll go over what we see here, and, you know, as we go through it, maybe you guys can figure out how to get game as I kind of just talk through it and explain what we have here. It's a bit of a rant, but we have Remove Trap, Tribute to the Doomed. I've never seen this card in my life. Elector, Sovereign of Birds. I don't know. If your opponent controls 2 or more face-up monsters of the same attribute, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up card on the field that targets effects are negated during this turn. There can only be 1 face-up bird on the field. Shooting Star Bow. Equipped monster loses 1,000 attack, but can attack directly. Axe of Despair. The equipped monster gains 1,000. And then we have Cost Down. Discard 1 card for the rest of this turn. Reduce the levels of all monsters in your hand by 2. So we have this rant of a hand. We have a Tragodia, and this is the opponent's field. This is from the anime. And the anime kind of is crazy. They cheat when they do dual puzzles, apparently, because all of the information wasn't presented. So I'll go over some of what we have here. Let's talk about the opponent's side of the field. They have Stronghold of the Moving Fortress. This thing gains 3,000 attack if you have all color gadgets, red, green, and yellow. We have a Dark Door. Only 1 monster can attack. We have an Ancient Gear Soldier and a Face Down. In the anime, when they do this dual puzzle, they don't know what this Face Down is, which is crazy. So what happens is there's Crow, Jack, and Bruno. I vaguely remember who they... I remember Crow. I don't... Is Jack the blonde, the guy with red dragon archfiend? I don't remember. Anyway, Crow activates Shooting Star Bow, equips it to the green gadget, decreasing his attack by 1,000, and then he has the Tragodia try to attack over the green gadget for game, and then the dual puzzle activates this Face Down, which is Mirror Force, revealing that it's Mirror Force. So, you guys looking at this hand, can you figure out how to get game through only attacking once through this field and Face Down Mirror Force? So our boy Jack, he reduces the attack of the green gadget, tries to attack over it, gets Mirror Force. He loses the dual puzzle. Now Mirror Force is known, and the next guy, or Crow did that. The next guy, he activates Axe of Despair. He equips it to Tragodia, increases his attack by 1,000. So now Tragodia's attack becomes 4,000 because Tragodia had 3,600. You lost the card in its hand, it lost 600, then it gained 1,000. So now it's at 4,000. And then Jack attacks Green Gadget, assuming the puzzle changed, and then Mirror Force is no longer there. I don't know what they're thinking. And then finally, we have the final guy, Bruno. He clears the puzzle, and for anybody trying to solve it, I assume there's been enough time to try to figure out. So I'm just reading right off the wiki, by the way. So Bruno, if you guys haven't figured it out yet, he activates Cost Down to lower the level of every monster in his hand and field by 2. Tragodia, blah, blah, blah. And he discards Remove Trap, right? So to activate Cost Down, you have to discard a card. So he discards Remove Trap. This already sounds crazy. I feel like I would just use Remove Trap on the Mirror Force. I'm not really sure why we're doing this. We're going to find out together. This lowers the level of Bird King to 4. And Bruno then activates the third effect of Tragodia to send Bird King from the hand of the graveyard and take control of Ancient Gear Soldier. Because it costs down, Bird King becomes a 4-star. He can discard it, activating Tragodia's effect, take control of Ancient Gear Soldier. Okay, and then we activate Tribute to the Doomed, discarding Shooting Star Bow. This destroys Green Gadget. When Green Gadget is destroyed, there's no longer 3 of each gadget on the field, so this guy's attack will go from 3,000 to 0. Then we activate Axe of Despair on the Ancient Gear Soldier, making him 2,300 exactly. All right, and now, because this thing is 0 attack, and the Ancient Gear Soldier is now 2,300 attack, and when you attack with Ancient Gear Soldier, spell and trap cards cannot be activated, so he can't get Mirror Force. So you get to attack through with Exact Game. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was fun. It was a little bit difficult controlling both screens, so I'm excited to do this again in the future, something like this, but with the help of my great partner Cairo, because it was kind of difficult controlling both screens. Some interesting things to note, though. I feel like, was there a condition in the anime where they had to use every single card in their hand in order for the puzzle to be considered complete? Because I don't see why you don't just do Remove Trap, target... Oh, it's 1 face-up trap on the field. Everybody ignore me. Don't worry about me. Do not worry about me. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players don't read cards. We don't read cards. There's a spell card. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there a spell card that targets a face-down spell or trap, and then they reveal it, and if it's a trap card, they destroy the trap, and if it's not a trap card, they just put it back? I thought that's what Remove Trap did. Maybe it was a different card. I don't know. So, ignore me. Remove Trap wouldn't have worked. So yeah, this was the dual puzzle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Okay, so as a special treat, all the way from Germany, Cairo has sent us a what would you do using his real-life physical cards. He's about to explain the whole scenario, but before he does, I just want to help you guys orient yourself with what you're looking at. The cards on the bottom are his opponents. Cards on top is Cairo. Cairo has Torrential, Charge of the Light Brigade, Armageddon Knight, Hamster, Dust Shoot, and Chaos Sorcerer. His opponent has Starlight Road, Gores, Shura, Kalut, Bora, and Bottomless. Let's see what Cairo has to say.
So here we have our first Paper Yu-Gi-Oh! what would you do? And this scenario comes straight from my most recent tournament experience at RBET Berlin. I'm on Value Turbo and my opponent is on Black Wings. And it's game 3, so I get to start first. Now, this is my starting hand. So what I do is I set Hamster. I do not play Charge of the Light Brigade because I don't want the risk of milling my targets with Hamster. So I set Hamster and I set Dust Shoot, right? Now, my opponent goes and draws for turn, and we can see this is his starting 6. So I Dust Shoot him. And when I activate Trap Dust Shoot, I see his hand. Now, the what would you do comes in what card would you send back? This is the thing. In my opinion,
what card are you sending back? Before Cairo says anything, what card are you sending back? I am thinking you send back Shura. I'm thinking you send back Shura because they can go attack with Shura, use Kalut to beat over Hamster, get Shura effect. That's my thought process. Let's see if I'm right.
There are 2 choices. Well, 2 to 3 choices, right? Bora is not a threat in this scenario. Actually, you want your opponent to summon Bora so that they...
I guess you could also send back Kalut for what Kairo's about to explain. He could go Shura attack, he just hits the Hamster and nothing happens. And then you get Hamster effect, etc. So I guess sending back Kalut is also an option. Anyway, continue, Cairo.
You could potentially run into your Hamster. So the cards worth sending back are either Gores, Shura, or Kalut. And let's talk about the pros and cons of sending back each. If you send back Kalut, well, the opponent can't beat over Hamster, and that's really good. If you send back Shura, then it baits the opponent into summoning Bora and potentially using Kalut on the Hamster, so they lose 2 cards and you get a Raikou. So it's really good. And if you send back Gores, well, as you know, Gores gives Value Turbo a difficult time. It's infamous for stealing games from Value Turbo. However, look at my hand. I have so many outs to Gores, right? I have Hamster that's going to get Raikou, and if that Raikou gets used prematurely, I have another Raikou that I can potentially get with Charge of Light Brigade. I have Torrential and I have Chaos Sorcerer. Nevertheless, by sending Gores back, it's a threat that I don't even have to worry about. So the question is, what would you do? Now, I will tell you the choice that I made in the tournament. I actually decided to send back Shura for the reasons that I mentioned before.
Let's go me! Let's go me! Anyway.
By sending back Shura, now my opponent can be tempted into summoning Bora, attacking, and wasting a Kalut. However, my opponent did not do this play. I sent back to Shura, and my opponent simply just passed, right? Because he doesn't want to put himself in a situation where he cannot drop Gores. So anyway, this segment isn't about what I would do, but it's about what would you do?
Isn't he just so cool? He's so cool. Tell me he's not cool. I fucking dare you.
Okay guys, excuse the terrible lighting, but I want to take a moment to thank everyone who's contributed to my experience here at Germany. Shout outs to Jose for getting 2nd place. Shout outs to Ozzy for showing me all around. He's been the best tour guide and showing me a Turkish culture, amazing Turkish food, a real homie. But biggest shout out to Darren. I would not be here if not for Darren. Darren has been supporting me for a long time. He's just honestly the coolest guy you could ever meet. And I don't know what else to say, man. Like, thank you for everything. You've been a great friend. And hopefully, you know, we can spend some more time together in the future. Anyway, shout outs and take care, everyone. Peace.